Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhamad Afif Bin Abd Rahim, and today I'm going to talk about functions. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you briefly about what is function. A function is a group of statements that together perform tasks. Every C++ program has at least one function which is main, and all the most trivial program can define additional functions. The basic coding can be divided into separate functions, which the division is so that each function performs a specific task. Okay, so you need three things when you are doing a functions, when you are using functions in C++, which is function declaration, function definition, and one more thing is calling a function. Okay, a function declaration tells the compiler about a function's name, return type, and parameters. Okay, and the function definition provides the actual body of the function. Okay, next, defining a function. How to define a function? Okay, this is the general form of C++ function. Return type and function name, and then in bracket a parameter list, and then the curly braces and the body of function, and close the curly braces. Okay, the return type, which is to suggest what function will return, like it can be integer or character or some pointer or even a class object. There are some functions that does not return anything, which we call void, which is used to display something. Okay, function name, which is the name of the function, obviously. Okay, next, parameters are the variables to hold the values of argument. Passes while function is called. These parameters are optional. Yes, it is optional. A function may or may not contain parameter list. Okay, a function body, which is the statements and the operations inside the function. Okay, next, this is when we're defining a function. This is the type, this is the name, and this is the parameter list, and this is all the operations inside the function. Here a and b are the arguments which passes the value into x and y, which is the parameters, to perform all these operations. Okay, next, function declarations. Function declaration is done to tell the compiler about the existence of the function and how to call the function. Okay, the actual body of the function can be defined separately. Sometimes we can declare and define at the same time, which is at the top of the main function. Okay, to declare the function, the general form is return type, function name, and parameter list. Okay, function return type is, yes. Okay, integer addition. This is the example. Integer is the type, addition is the name, and then this parameter list. The parameter name is not important. Sometimes we can just write the type only, like integer addition and integer. Okay, next. Function declaration is required when defined in one source file and you call the function in another file. You should declare a function at the top of the file calling a function. Okay, this is when declare the function. This is when we define the function. We must have the semicolon when we are declaring a function. Okay, this is when we call the function. Next, I'm going to explain about the calling a function. Okay, to use a function, you have to call or invoke the function. When programs are called, program control is transferred to the call function. A call function performs defined tasks, and when its return statement is executed, when its function ending closing brace is reached, it returns the program control back to the main function. Okay, for example, like this, integer a, b, and when we prompt the user to enter number 1, and then we prompt the user to enter number 2, and we call the function. We pass the value of a, which is the number 1, and b into this parameter, and then they perform the integer result perform the multiplication num1 times num2, and then return the result to this, and then to this value, which is now equals to answer, and then we see out the answer. Okay, now let's take a look at the coding. Okay, I did this coding just now. Okay, this is the main function. Okay, I did this integer num1 and num2. I did a process of swapping actually, and then I did this display function, which just to show that this void function that used with no parameters to display something like I did right now is cout high, to display this high. Okay, and then where's the main? Okay, and then I prompt the user to input num1 and num2. Okay, and then I did all this swapping by using, first of all, I did this pass by value. Okay, this is num1. I say num1. This is right after I call this function. Okay, let's go into this pass by value function first. Okay, I didn't declare the function because I did the function definition on top of the main, so I don't have to declare because it declares and define at the same time. Okay, the function that I use is void swap value. The name and the parameter is integer x and integer y. Okay, this is integer temp. Okay, right now I call the function of swap value num1 and num2. I pass this num1, these arguments num1 and num2 to integer x and integer y. Okay, first this is I declare a temp, which is to swap for swapping. Integer temp x equals to y is equals to temp for swapping the value. Okay, and then first I display the number before swapping, and then I display the number after swapping, but it's still inside the function. And then I display, I display the name right after the passing into the main function, return the value into the main function back. Okay, the same goes for this is the reference. I pass the arguments to reference, but for reference I did the function declaration just to show how to declare this reference. Okay, void swap reference integer addressing ampersand x ampersand y, because in reference we use swapping by using the address of the variable to swap the value. Okay, where's the right here. Okay, we use the address of the x. For example, right now is the address of num1 to swap the value inside the address with the address of y right now, which is the num2, to swap by using the reference. Okay, then for the pointer, swapping pass by value using pointers. Okay, the parameter is address, using address, but inside the function, the arguments is address, but in the function we use it as a pointers. Okay, then I'll put the before then, and then this is temp equals to the pointer x, which is the value inside the address of the x, and then the value inside of the x, address of the x, is equals to the value inside of the y, and the value inside of the y is now equals to temp to swap the value, just the same. Okay, to show the difference between all this, let's try and compile and run this. Okay, let's try to input num1 as 100 or maybe 1000. Okay, and then num2 is equals to 3. Okay, hit executed. Okay, right now this is for passing by value. Num1 before swap, okay, is 1000, and the address is this one. Okay, num2 before swap is 3, and address is this thing. Okay, this is current num1 inside swap. This is right after the swap. The value is 3. The value is 3, and then the address is the same as the address of num1 is still the same. And then the value has been swapped, but the address is still the same. Okay, right after passing the value back into the main, the value does not swap. It returns to its normal state, and the address is different than what address that has been used in the function. Okay, but for reference, okay, first num1 is 1000, and this is the address, which is the end is 3c, and then num2 before swap is 3, and the last address is 38. And then after the swap, the address is still the same, and after return the value into the main, the address is still the same. That's why reference use the address to pass the value, because they stick to the same address just to swap or change the value by the process inside the function. And for the pointers, they use different address in functions, but what difference from value passed by value is that they change the value, not like the value, they change the value when passed into the main, not like pass the value they did not change, although the address is not the same. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.